Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So my question is, what do you do with little? And let me tell you where this is coming from. So this Bible verse just came to me, but this is not, I didn't start it like this. So and just to give you a framework about what I'm talking about, so hopefully you can relate to it too, because this can relate to different people in different ways. Because a lot of times we can think about like, oh, I have a little bit of money. How do I, use my finances the best way when I don't have a lot? For me, I'm talking about gifts and talents, and I might not be talking about it in the way that you think I am. So here we go. I was looking at my gifts as, mundane. Like, I get random songs, I get random little messages, and I'm thinking like, oh, that's so little. And then sometimes I get very, very big, drastic, like revelations, right? And I was only considering the big revelations as something important to talk about. And I got hit with like the biggest whoopsie because I keep getting a message like, hey, you're not doing enough. Like, you integrated, that you have the gift, you received the messages, but you're not sharing enough. And I'm like, I'm sharing all the time. And I was also like going to God and the universe, like, you keep telling me to share, and every time I get a message, I share. It's like, but if you're only going to give me the message once every 3 days, how do you expect me to be consistent? Like, it seems like you want me to be, posting and sharing all the time, but I'm only getting a message once in a blue moon in the middle of the night, right? And they're like, no, that's a lie. I'm always giving you messages. You're just deeming them as little. And I was like, oh. I was like, yeah, you're right, because it's something I'm used to. So even the perception, what we perceive as small, is big to somebody else. And just because you're used to it, like, I've been someone who always got messages or divine revelations all the time since I was little. Not saying like drastic or anything. I'm not saying like over woo woo either. I'm just saying like insight, revelation, advice, and understanding has always been, and even just like random songs and just like, got it. That happens all the time for me. And sometimes I don't know, well, what's for me and what's for other people, and that's fine. That's still something I gotta balance. But working through or understanding that, those little things are not to be ignored or dismissed. And I don't want you just to think that the ones you get where you physically feel the energy and you get woken up in the middle of the night, or this big thing, or, if we even go to money, let's say, oh, you might think $10,000 is a lot, but your $2,000 paycheck is not a lot. And it's just, but God's looking at it like, oh, all of it's important. And the way you share it, or the way you give it, or the way you express it is all important. So you might think that you have to, for it to be good or worthy or valuable, that you have to be doing this grandiose thing and on the stage, or it has to be like a full-on article when it could just be a little tweet, a little message on Facebook. But we're thinking it has to be the biggest thing for it to be important. And so that brings me to the Bible verse of like, well, what are you doing with your little? Because I feel like I'm just ignoring my little. It's like, I wouldn't do that with a plant. If a plant was just now sprouting, I would actually treat it even better than the big plant, because it needs to be nurtured more. It needs to be, the attention needs to be put on it more. You need to show up to it even more, because, not saying this in its beginning stages, but the attention to the small details, the attention to the small messages, the attention to, I just sing in the car for my kids, versus I'd rather be on the big stage, because sometimes you do maybe go and sing at a little club on the weekends, but you got to understand that your voice affects your children too, and when you sing to them a lullaby, that's just as important too. Now that could be for somebody. Or when I draw a little, I don't know, when I draw something for my friend, or I draw something for this little thing, that's just as important as having a drawing in a magazine, or drawing in a illustration in a book. Like, all of it's important. But I feel like sometimes, and I'm just going to talk about me, sometimes we look at the little easy thing, the thing that you've always been doing, as nothing. And God's like, I'm sorry. The gift is the gift is the gift. And it's not measured really by the size. You're measured by how often you water the seed, right? You watering the seed matters more than the size of the plant. And so what you do with little, what was the verse? I'm not even like all that biblical like that, but it just comes to me. And I don't want to have the Bible verse be like, oh, if I can trust you with this, then I can trust you with that. Yes, that's true too, because I don't even want to look at the dishonest part and dishonest, because that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, if you're not going to be diligent in the small things, or if you're going to look at the small things as irrelevant, then why on God's green earth? This is for me. This is how it got told to me, so I have to say it like this. You're thinking that you're doing a lot, but you're only waiting for the big moments when there's all these little moments that you're ignoring. Why would I bless you with the big things when you're not taking the time to do the littler things, the smaller things, the things that you don't deem important, but it's important for somebody. Like, you don't always have to get on and get on live or have to have this grand thing when there's some people that you're not reaching because you're not posting the one sentence message, because you're not, I can't tell you what your gift is. It could be anything and I want you to know that I'm not talking about money, but I did want to just, use that as an option. But you may think, oh, giving somebody $1 on the corner is not going to do anything, so I'm not going to give them their $1. It would be more helpful for them if I gave them at least 10. What's anybody going to do with $1? You know what I mean? But to some people, $1 is all they need to go get them a bottle of water because it's hot outside. I know, right? So you're deeming something as unimportant because it's so small and so minuscule to you, but that's where the roots form, or this is when the roots are forming, because I'm thinking about a plant and nurturing the seed, and how when you see something, or let me think about this. We don't sit here and say, oh, when you first plant a seed in the soil, and of course your first watering would be kind of thorough, right? It would be a good thorough watering to get the seed up in the soil, I think. But then like you go to it and you maybe water it every other day. Now you don't see anything for real, but it's that act of tending to the garden every single day in this little way. Like all you have to do is throw a cup of water in there. Like that takes nothing. That literally takes nothing. But if you don't practice doing that, which is really forming your identity for those who are kind of in like this manifestation law of attraction realm, and I hope you are open to talk about any of these things because everything is connected over here for me. So whether I give you a Bible verse or metaphysical law, universal law, please accept it or don't. It doesn't matter to me, but it's about that identity. And how can you say you're X, but you don't do like the other little things that a person who is X would do, right? So let's just take it I like giving examples. If you're a teacher, you think that a part of your teaching, the only thing you're teaching is like the big lessons and giving the tests. It's like, well, no, because you're also a teacher in the little ways. You're a teacher in the ways that you don't even expect. You're a teacher whenever, your kids come into your classroom. I think I talk about kids a lot, but I am around kids a lot, but I'm not a teacher like that. But for those who are teachers and guides, I lost my train of thought, which is crazy, but being a teacher is more than just like the big, I'm standing at the front of the classroom, I'm teaching this lesson, right? It's also the little things like, hey, y'all, make sure you're doing your little reminders. You're doing your check-ins for the class. You are answering their questions. Like those are little things that you just automatically do. But some kids learn better whenever they have a tutoring session at the end of school and you're going question by question, or let's say you give them a test and then they have to do revisions and they come up to you and ask a random question and you're just giving them a random answer, and that doesn't take a lot of energy out of you. It's not like you're standing up in front of the classroom giving a presentation. You're just answering a random question from one of your kids, right? And I hope I'm not going in circles with this. I'm just saying that those are the little things too, but that's a part of your identity. When you're claiming that you're a teacher or whatever you are, the little things also matter. And they matter probably even more, or at least just as much as the big things. So bringing it back to me so you can understand where I'm coming from is I was posting, and of course you can see because I got my stuff up right now. It's probably every 2 to 3 days because that is the frequency at the moment. And of how often I get like the huge revelations or like the big things that kind of smack me in the face, and I'm up in the middle of the night, and I truly don't like being up in the middle of the night. And I was also talking to God, and I was like, why is it only that I get the messages in the middle of the night? And it's like, well, you don't allow anything else to come through during the day, or you ignore everything else. So like, I've been trying to tell you all day long about these little things in these little ways, and you could have just did a quick little post, but you decided to like think that was nothing. You decided to ignore all the little things. So now I gotta smack you up in the middle of the head in the middle of the night and give you this big old thing and keep you up for 2 or 3 hours and then mess up your sleep schedule. I'm like, oh, okay, get me. So yeah, it's like, okay, I was only looking at the big things as important and not taking into account all the little things, all the little ways I get the messages, all the little ways I can share that have not felt as important to me or have not felt valuable to me because it was just so simple, and it was just, I didn't have to think twice about it, and it just felt like, of course, no, it has to be bigger than that. It has to be bigger than that. It has to be longer than that. I can't just do a little 5-minute video. It has to be 30 minutes, and it has to be very thorough, and I have to make sure I give this and that and the third. And, we're not even going to talk about the fact that sometimes I feel like nothing is seen regardless. So that should have actually just made it easier for me to do whatever. But instead, I don't know, it's me having to try to prove myself, I guess, or something. But I'm rambling now. So I think I said what I wanted to say. What do you do with little? Do you ignore the little? Do you pretend like it doesn't matter? Do you acknowledge it because you think it's not important? Or do you know that, hey, this is my identity. This is who I claim to be. So big or small, I will execute. Big or small, I deliver on the things. Whether I'm giving the lecture, whether I'm answering a random student's question, whether I'm giving them a test or a pop quiz, whether I'm just telling them have a good day at the end of the school day. You know what I mean? That's all a part of being a teacher. I'm sure I'm missing some big things too, like taking home the assignments and grading them. Like that's the part where you're not even using any energy. Oh, I'm just grading papers. But that's a part of the identity. That's a part of being a teacher. So part of me being what I feel like is at least a communicator, at least somebody who gives insight and perspective. Every little piece of perspective I have that I deem small, which I shouldn't deem it as small, because I need to understand that everything that I feel like comes out of my mouth is going to be important to somebody. I need to go ahead and fix that right now. And I want you to fix that right now. If there's something that you're like, oh no, it's not worth of my time. It's not, I won't be seen as worthy if I just do this little thing. If I just post a picture on TikTok, TikToks are supposed to be for like 30-second clips. And I'm just over here just posting one little product and blah, blah, blah. And like everybody else is doing all these long things. And I'm just blah, blah. No. If you feel got it to do it, even the little thing, do it. If you're not recognizing that the little things matter and the little things are important, like tending to your little plant and just putting water on it, if you're going to ignore all that, then how can you be trusted with more? If you won't even do the little things, you won't even take the 5 minutes to post this one little thing. I won't even take 2 seconds to like jot down a sentence or two, a little motivational thought I have, and run it through Canva, make my thing and post it. Like, what do you mean I'm not giving you enough? I've given you so much every second of the day. You're thinking about how to better your business, but you're not doing none of the things because you're trying to do the big thing. And it's like, you don't need to do the big thing all the time. Sure don't. I'm sweating, of course. And I was freezing cold before I started this. I already know. That's how I know. Ooh, I'm on to something, y'all. Okay. Let me know if this resonates at all. Nurture the seed. And by the seed, I mean like your gift. And by nurture, I mean tend to it. Tend to the gift. All the time. There's a song called Stir Up the Gift. And I'm not sure what the lyrics are, but I'm about to look it up real quick. Because I feel like that might be important. So let me do it. You know, when I'm always about to wrap up, it seems like Spirit got something else to say. Stir up the gift. And I don't want to play it. Oh, well, let me just actually get some lyrics. It might not have anything to do with anything. But, it's very short. I'm just going to read it just in case somebody needs to hear it. So I'm not sure if it resonates, but it says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but the Lord has given us power. And then it goes into this power and love, his joy and peace, his happiness. He has given us a strong mind. Never should I be afraid. Stir up the gift. Lay your hands on me. Stir up the gift. Touch me, Lord. Stir up the gift. It's interesting that I'm feeling like, we can even look at these gifts of like power, love, joy, peace, happiness, strong mind. We can look at those as little. Some of you have a lot of love and you're not realizing how big that love is because you always have it, right? If you're somebody who just naturally embodies love and you're always a loving person, you're not recognizing how a small act of love impacts somebody's life. You don't understand how a small people seeing you be in joy, because you're always in joy and like that's your baseline, joy and peace and happiness. You don't understand when you're going around somebody who has no joy, no peace, or no happiness, and they're miserable people, you're impacting them so much. And that's just kind of like something that's unintentional, but it's interesting because it's like you feel like it's little and you're not paying attention to like how powerful it is or how impactful it is. And you're thinking, me just posting a picture of my smile and being happy is not gonna impact anybody, or especially when everybody's posting these videos. And what do I look like just posting a picture of my smile? And it's like, so I'm just not gonna post it. What do you mean? God gave you a beautiful smile. I need you to use it. It's a gift that he wants you to stir up. And when you stir something up, it's like it's stagnant, right? And you're creating this movement, you're creating this tide, you're creating these waves when you stir it up. And then other people get involved and it ripples out. And so whatever it is, whatever you feel like your gift is, even if you're not even probably paying attention to what your gift is. Some of y'all got the gift of the gab, like me sometimes. I know some of y'all are way better communicators. But understand, like, you're not thinking anything of it because you're just such a natural communicator. You're always talking and yapping to yourself and yapping to everybody else. And you're thinking like, nobody wants to hear me talk. But like the way you say it, the way you're so clear with your words, all you got to do is say one sentence, a couple sentences. And it's just so precise and so clear that everybody understands what you're saying. That's a gift. And that's impactful. Whether somebody needs to hear it or somebody needs to be encouraged by how you talk, they need to hear something or see something that you deem as small. And God needs you to continue to operate even if you feel like it's small. Because one little seed, of course, can turn into the seeds turn into trees. I don't know. I never planted a tree. But I think that's how it works. You know what I mean? And so when we're asking like, well, why are you not growing this thing, or you're not really giving me many opportunities to grow in this? I want you to check and see, is there anything that you're missing? Are there little smaller parts that you deem smaller parts of this whole thing that you're ignoring, that you're glossing right over because you're not deeming it as important? But like, guys, like that's the thing I need you to be doing, the easy thing, the small thing. So then I can start elevating you more. And I'm not saying you're just doing this for elevation, but I'm just trying to make sure you're not missing any of the things on the ground level. Not missing the easy things just because you deem it as unimportant. Stir up the gift. Whatever it is that you have. And you have something. And I'm sure you have that something that's right in line with what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to achieve the big thing, there's these little things that are natural to you that you should be operating in. And you need to find the opportunity, the easy opportunity that you might be missing, so you can be more dedicated, so you can execute more. That doesn't wipe you out, because everything you do doesn't need to be like toil and labor, right? Some things can be simple. Some things can take 5 minutes. Some things are as quick as saying, hey, to your students, saying, grading your paper, answering their question. Of course, that takes nowhere near as much effort as it does to teach a lesson in the class. You could do both, of course. But if you're only waiting and only executing on the big things, what is a teacher who just stands in front of the classroom and does the big lessons but doesn't help anybody else outside of that? Who doesn't tutor? Who doesn't give encouraging words? Who doesn't, grade the papers? Who doesn't do all those mundane little things that are so easy and so automatic and you always do it, so yada, yada, yada. Who cares about that? That's not how this works. You need to be wholly operating in your gift and wholly being in the identity that is who you say you are, whoever you want to be. Now, of course, it's easier to do the small thing when you never done it before. Like, let's say I don't know why I'm still talking, y'all. But if somebody's listening, let's say you're somebody who never done it before. And it's like, oh, yeah, you automatically start small. Like, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what your gift is. You're trial and error. Oh, let me just try this little thing. Try that little thing. But then once you get kind of big for your britches and like, I don't need to do none of that. I'm up there with the big dogs. I can do what the big dogs do. Yeah, you can. And you should. But also don't forget, like, this kind of beginner's mind. No, I don't want to say it like that. Don't forget the importance of the actions that are small. The small everyday things. I don't know why. I just got a vision of like somebody working out. You can probably bench press however many pounds. I don't really know. 50, let's just say there. Let's just say that. But then I don't want you to forget like the small things like warming up on the treadmill. And I'm not saying you have to do these things in order, but if you're only going to the gym to pump iron and bench press 50, but you're never, and let's say you have to recover for 3 days, and it's like, well, you could have went to the gym those other 2 days in between and not had done that. You could have also done the little things like 20 minutes on the treadmill. You could have did yoga. And you're thinking that's unimportant? Ooh, I'm telling you, this can apply in a lot of different ways. Very practical ways and very spiritual ways. But if you're somebody who claims to be fit or a trainer or somebody who cares about their body, you saying, I care about my body and I want to be healthy, but I'm only seeing you go to the gym every 3 days because you're thinking that the only thing that matters is if I do 15,000 squats and I have the 50-pound weights, and that's the only time you do it because you think that's the thing that's going to get you the most growth. And it will get you some growth, of course. But like if you're ignoring all the other parts of your body or you're ignoring all the other types of fitness, I can't even trust that you're a fitness person for real. I can't even trust what you're saying because you're really only going for the big things. And I'm like, okay, but if you was really about that life, you would do all the things. You would do the little things. You would also take the time to stretch and also take the time to do cardio and also take the time to blah, 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 blah. See, suddenly I don't know any of the moves. That's what I'm talking about. And so you're sitting here complaining that nothing's moving, nothing's growing. Or like, if you're like me, arguing with the God in the universe, like you're telling me to do more, but you're only letting me do this thing this amount of times. And you're not giving me enough. You're not giving me enough. And it's like, you have plenty. Do you not hear your thoughts all the time? Do you not feel your vibration all the time? Do you not see how you naturally give advice to people every day in your natural conversation? You're not even realizing how much content you have in your own essence. And I'm like, get me all the way together. Get me all the way together. I'm going to wrap this one up because I'm like, yeah, because I got a couple more messages to give. If you're new here, thank you for being here and listening. And if you want to go check out any of the posts, I made a post that was the initiative of when I first got this message. I was like, you know what? You have a post that you can post right now. I posted it. Oh, and I think that goes with the message because it was like, oh yeah, even the little things. That's where this came from. Now, of course, I guess I'm 2 days late on giving this message, but I got to do it when I can, when I have the time. I still don't force myself to do things out of alignment. But anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening, or probably just listening, right? And of course, let me know if it resonates. Leave it down in the comment section. And if this helped you at all, let me know. And if this was helpful, which is what I just said, I guess let me know twice. Catch you later.